Hello and welcome to this episode of Making Connections, the BattleCON analysis show where I, your host, Marco DeSantos, try not to do so badly at BattleCON Online. It's been a while since the last Making Connections, so we're gonna do something very special and preview the new BattleCON Online character. You already know by the thumbnail, it's Carolyn Marilyn Ross. That's not actually her name. Alright, we're in a game against Midnight Campaign's Kehrolyn, a Carolyn mirror match, of course. Alright, this is going to be very interesting. So one important thing to note about Kehrolyn is her unique ability, which basically says that the card in your discard 1 applies its form effects to your current attack. This is a very important thing to note, because Kehrolyn now has to not discard Switch and discard 1. It's a bit weird, but essentially you want to give yourself as much options as possible. So on my recommendation, I highly recommend you put Whip in there because, well, you gotta whip it to get it. No, but in all seriousness, Whip is quite powerful and quite strong in this situation, mostly because it gives you the range you need on most of your attacks. Carolyn doesn't have range on any of her other styles, so that's problematic. So I'll probably get rid of Whip Grasp? No, Whip Grasp is pretty strong, actually. I don't want to burst. So we can probably do this and then switch Strike. Mostly because you don't need Strike as Carolyn, because you have freaking Quicksilver, you have Exoskeletal and Bladed to pick up your guard. So that should be it, and then let's pick Hydra Fork, because Hydra Fork is a good overdrive finisher. Seems my opponent does not know the secret tech yet, because they're trying to do Switch. So now their current form is Switch, and my current form is Whip. So this gives me range. That's pretty good. I don't need to copy my form. So I probably do Bladed Drive. Or Bladed Shot. A Bladed Grasp works as well. But I do think Bladed Drive works, and it deals a decent chunk of damage. And next beat, I get hit range 1 plus 2 power. And also power plus 1 by default. So I think this is good. I don't think my opponent has a lot of options to beat this. Quicksilver Drive, I think, would beat me. I would clash their Bladed Drive. Oh no, they don't even have Quicksilver. So I feel like Bladed Drive is actually my best attack right now. And then if I do get clashed, I can revert into either Overload or Shot. Either one should be okay. Oh, a dodge. I see. Okay. That's some cool tech right there. My opponent dodging. But now they don't have Whip. That's pretty good in my opinion. So they're advancing 3 to get straight into the corner. I will be forced to advance 1. It's not quite ideal, so now my opponent has Whip, but I have Bladed. And my opponent can't burst or dodge. Can I just do Exoskeletal Strike? I probably need to do Exoskeletal Overload. Then if I reveal it, I copy my form, which is... Okay, so I'll do Exoskeletal... So this is a cool base. So during the start, as a start of beat effect, you can reveal a style from your hand and then apply it to your attack. So this is an option select. It allows you to reveal a card in your hand, and after seeing your opponent's hand or play already, this allows you to counterpick what your opponent's trying to do. So that's pretty cool, and that's pretty fun, right? So I can do this. If I do get clashed, I can definitely just strike in response. The opponent can't grasp. I feel like this will be a drive, actually. So I have to do Quicksilver Overload. Yeah. Nah, let's just Exoskeletal Shot here. That was a lot of finicking around, but my idea is that the opponent's probably just gonna do something like a drive 2 past me. I will pass. So this will 4 trade. It's not necessarily ideal. I have Stun Guard 5. How much does Bladed Drive do? Stuff 5. So I definitely have to guard.
They won't stop me.
Alright. Yep, it's a Quicksilver Drive something. Yeah, it was a drive. My opponent didn't want to give me the Bladed on hit effect. But it's okay, this is a 2-4-4 trade, and that's still pretty good in my book.
Yeah. You'll have to try harder.
Nice. Nice. Okay, got into melee range. So my opponent's current form is +2 priority from Quicksilver, and I got this. My opponent can now burst. My opponent can now burst. That's problematic. They have a fast burst though. So if they play burst, it's going to be a priority 3. I can clash it with Whip Strike. That's not a bad play. And then after that, I can just grasp myself. Or play Overload. Or I could just play Overload now. Nah. We're gonna play it a little bit safe with Whip Strike. It's gonna be a very powerful attack regardless. So we don't have to worry about that, you know? So we'll see what my opponent antis. Nothing. Yeah, this was to be expected. And it wasn't the burst. Okay. So I am eating 4. And they are eating 4. So they're cornering themselves, so I can't dodge them. Yep. Double 4s. So my opponent isn't fast. So I can do Quicksilver Reload right here. This will be a 5 priority attack. My opponent cannot contest with that. So they're gonna have to basically dodge this. And if they do dodge, that's fine. I get positioning advantage thanks to Quicksilver. Yeah, I do think this is ideal. So Quicksilver Reload. So the big thing about fighting Carolyn... Oops, sorry about that, my phone fell. So the big thing about fighting Carolyn is that you have to realize that you kind of know what your opponent's going for and that she has very predictable stats. Outside of Quicksilver, she has no priority modifiers, so you know 100% of the time what her priority is going to be based on the basis that she can play. And that's really, really, really interesting. We are trying to eke out some advantages here and there, and hopefully it all works out in the end.
I can work with that.
Ooh, extra power. So I'm probably gonna reveal Rebladed on this, which gives me extra stuff. Yeah, that should be more than enough to block it. So I'll power up myself and try to deal as much damage as possible, since I'm pretty sure I'm going first. Oh no, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have antied that because my opponent could have antied priority in response. But regardless, it turned out fine. Even if they did anti-priority, it would have worked the same. I will definitely reveal Overload for more power. Sorry, reveal Bladed for more power. This will deal a lot of damage and not stun the opponent, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. That's a lot of damage from both sides. I'm gonna retreat one. It's quite unfortunate on my side. I took a really bad trade there, but that's okay. So now my opponent knows that I'm generally fast. They can whip drive me. So if I'm mutating burst, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, so mutating burst is going to be very interesting here because it's going to be a priority 5 attack. My opponent can't be faster than that and still hit me because their fastest attack is 7 priority with Grasp and 6 priority with Drive on Quicksilver Drive and Grasp respectively. But those don't have enough range to hit against a mutating burst. On the other hand, though, the opponent doesn't have the chance to be able to have enough range. If they play Whip, I'm faster, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, if they play Whip, I will be faster. I'm not gonna spend because I'm already at 7 life, and that gives me, yep, there you go, Quicksilver. So this is the play I was talking about. This is a fast play that they're doing. I will simply retreat 2 spaces, and the opponent, Carolyn, cannot do anything about it. They take 1 damage, and here's gonna be an interesting play. I'm gonna retreat. Retreat 1. The question is, do I retreat 2? Because my opponent will not have any ranged options at all. So essentially they'll be... Yeah, I think I should retreat again. So by being at range 4, my opponent basically has no more ranged options left. And that's pretty good, in my book. So this one is when it's your form, copy your played style. Alright. Range 3. So my opponent can't actually hit me from this range. Oh, they can with mutating overload reveal whip? Oh, no, they can't. No, they still can't. Alright, so my play here is actually to play Whip Strike. Sorry, Whip Grasp. Then hopefully that beats my opponent's attack, because I don't think they can hit. So they're going to have to burst out of the way. Then after that, I'm going to play Shot, and it's going to hit them for a lot. So that's the line I'm looking for. Yeah, Whip Strike. Seems like the appropriate play. I'll go down to 5 HP. And then I'll spend 2 force. Yeah, so I can spend 2 force right now. Plus 2 priority. I'm not trying to go fast. So I can spend 2 force right now. And go down to 3 force. And then my life will go down by 1 because of mutating's effect. Then my force will go back up to 5. So I'll still have enough to do my overdrive finisher next turn. And Hydra Fork is, let's just say, super freaking good. It's probably a dodge. No, a Whip Burst. Ooh, good play from my opponent. That's devastating to me. Yep, yep. Good play, good play. Nice one, Midnight. So you probably want to retreat one and then make me eat. Yeah. So I think I'm... Yep, there you go. Boom. This is gonna be a fun beat, I guess. There you go. Ooh, that's a lot of life loss on my end. But now I can Hydra Fork. Can my opponent do anything about Hydra Fork? Ah, yeah, they can kill me, is the answer. So we probably don't want to do that. They have Shot in hand. So if I play Quicksilver Shot, no. If I can play Bladed Drive, I think that works. No, they're gonna grasp me, right? So that's a 5 Cryo. So it's a read. I'm gonna take it. So I'm gonna read that they're trying to grasp me. And because the other situation is that they're shotting. And if this is a shot, then that's all well and good. Though, in my opinion, I do think it should be a shot 100% of the time, because they have just exoskeletal whip shot. And I think that's checkmate, so it's a pretty grim day for me. That that whip burst was super good. Kudos, that was a great play. Alright, this is definitely exoskeletal whip shot. Oh, unfortunate. Unfortunate. Alright, good game.
I'm not holding back.
Well played.
Thanks for the fight. It kept me on my toes.
Alright, let's move on to the post-game analysis now. Alright, you see, the beauty of every mirror match I get with a new character is that regardless of who wins, I get to showcase what the character looks like when they're winning and when they're losing. So I'm really happy. Thank you for the great game, Midnight Campaign? Midnight Campaign? Is that your name? Did I pronounce it right? If I did pronounce it right, please tell me in the comment section down below. And if I did pronounce it wrong, please, again, tell me. I don't want to mispronounce people's names. So, that was a great game. Let's think about what went wrong. So, essentially, what went wrong was that one beat where I read my opponent's attack space wrong and forgot that they could easily burst out of my option. Had I considered that and played the drive instead, that would have changed everything dramatically. My opponent would be significantly lower on health, and I would still be at around 5 life, which is more than enough to deal with the exoskeletal shot. This was the unfortunate situation that I was placed in, but that's fine. That's how BattleCON works. This is a very, very interesting character. Carolyn is so much fun to play. Trying to figure out all her combos and all of her style combinations is like some of the best fun you'll ever have. I didn't do it this game, but if you start the game with Bladed in your discard 1, you can do Mutating Drive on beat 1 and deal 9 damage to the opponent if they don't burst. That's insane, that's hilarious, and I bet you should try it out. So, if you like that game, please give me a like, give me a comment, and give me a subscribe. If you hated the game, then give it to your worst enemy and force them to do the same thing. Without much else to say, thank you so much for watching. As usual, that's been me, your host, Marco Dos Santos, also known as the Mechanic Critic, and thank you, World of Indians. Thank you, and good night. By the way, don't forget your special action. You thought I forgot, but I didn't.